What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update and a couple of bits and pieces to get through today, as the transfer window is under a week away from closing, and are Spurs going to be doing more business in this transfer window? Incomings, I question. I think a few more outgoings are still about to take place. As Alistair Gold did say on yesterday, that Tottenham will look at opportunities that arise in the last few days of the transfer window. I feel like he said that pretty much every single window with the going into the last week of the transfer window.
As Brian Dale would say, opportunities FC. Classic Spurs. Look, we're always up for a good deal, aren't we? We're always up for an opportunity, but look, I like the makeup of our squad. I think the forward line, I can't see any more incomings on that front. Could we maybe do with, and definitely do with a left centre back / left back? Obviously, Spence is now going to be covering the left back and the right back. Gray can play full back, so there's not a massive need, albeit that's definitely upgradable. Left centre back is definitely. That's probably in the squad. That's probably the most urgent thing I would say we need is a backup left back, backup left centre back. Sorry, but I mean, is it essential that we splash out in this window? I mean, you could probably wait till January if need be to do that. We've still got Ben Davies who can fill in, who did a decent job last season when he came into the team. So I do see incomings very unlikely as well. If we bring in a player, I think Davies is going to have to be left out as well. So we're going to have to get a player who's definitely better than him, which look, you should be able to find, but I'm not. But with the week left to the window, I don't know if we will do it. So I do think incomings are going to be hard to come by. The midfield is pretty sorted, especially Basuma's going to play like he is, with Bentancur's being in good form. I think Bergval's obviously showing he can play a role in this team and maybe play in the 8. With Decky, who played in the 8 as well. And you've got Sarr there, you've got Maddison and Bergval and Kulu can play in the 10. So I don't see too many reasons to panic about incomings from now to the end of the window, to be honest.
I would have liked to have seen a top midfielder come in this transfer window. I think like that was being said at the beginning of the window. Spurs want a top midfielder to come in, an all-action midfielder, they were saying, and that hasn't seemed to have materialised. Yes, I know.
Gray and Bergval have been so impressive.
I know, yeah. Bergval and Gray have been impressive, but I wasn't really looking for that all-action midfielder. I was looking for a monster 6 to come in this window. I really felt that we needed one to really compete up there, but hasn't happened. It's frustrating because I don't know if we can get ourselves properly to the next level without one.
Well, if Basuma and Bentancur and Gray can cover it, I mean, is that far-fetched that they can do the job? I mean, look, I think in the perfect world you want, get Zubimendi in, but there's these 6s of that are very hard to come by. There's not a lot of them out there in the market who are better than what we have, is the point. I don't think there's like a whole list of players better than what we have available. So I can understand the reluctance to push the button on that kind of signing. But if there is a player out there, 100%, I'll be all for it. I think Zubimendi is definitely one of them. But he can get over. Liverpool can get him over the line. I'm looking at options. I was saying Weaver, but he's gone to Brighton. I'm looking at Onana, obviously he's gone to Villa. So there's not a lot of options out there. And I think Bentancur, Basuma, it's not the worst midfielders to rely on in that position. I can think of a lot worse. So let's be confident and hope they can do the job.
Yeah. In terms of outgoing, Sky Sports says that Lo Celso and Reguilon are the 2 senior players that Tottenham want to move on before the deadline, which is no surprise at all. And a publication in Turkey says that Bestiktas are now showing interest in Tottenham defender Sergio Reguilon. Bestiktas are understood to exploring the conditions of a potential deal of Reguilon with just 1 year left in his contract. I mean, are we going to link him to every Turkish club at this point?
Those Turkish sources. Honestly, every player they link to Turkey from us. So I'll see on, I believe it with them. We'll see. Look, I do think both of them will head out the door. There's no place for them in the squad. They're not even going to make the European squad at this rate. So they need to be sold or blown out.
I'll tell you what Spurs have done really well is the outgoings this summer. I think it's the best summer of outgoings that I can think that I can remember. We've actually bit the bullet with a lot of these players and got less what we've previously been asking for. We cut the contract of Tanguy and Ndombele as well. So I'm really happy from that aspect of this window of how well we've done.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've taken hits on some certain players. We've trimmed the squad to a much more manageable size in terms of players who we can really trust to play Ange's way. And as we said before, I'm looking at the squad now, and pretty much, there's no Emerson's coming in. There's no these players who you just know are not the right fit. Apart from like Ben Davis, like everyone we know is that it can play the way Ange wants them to play and are very effective in that way. You can argue about the quality, like as we've said, like people like Werner and Johnson, are they up to standard in terms of, compared to our rivals, what we have the forward line? What we definitely do know is, can they do the job Ange wants them to do? They can do it, but I think they're players that can do what Ange needs them to do in those roles. So I'm really liking the makeup of the squad now. So it's just about, maybe now we've got a squad of players who can do Ange's system. Now it's maybe looking at upping the quality a bit in future windows.
Do you feel like, in terms of the window, how it's gone now, we have got closer to the Arsenals and Man Cities of this world? Because I'm not sure if we have.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say, because how people like Graham Bergvall are going to really up the quality. We know they're really promising, talented players. Are they going to come in and really up the quality of the squad, or are they just going to come in and fill in here and there, and are they going to make a difference? It's hard to say. Same with Odegaard. He's going to come in and do well for us. Is he going to come in and get like 10 assists? I mean, that's also up for a question. So I would say the jury's out whether we've gotten closer to Man City or Arsenal, but whether we've gotten a squad closer to what Ange wants, I think that's no question. So we'll see.
I just feel like we are still lacking quality-wise on the wings. I know we've brought in Werner and Odegaard. Werner's not of the required quality, in my opinion. Odegaard might be, but even if he is, I don't think he's there just yet, being a 19-year-old, trying to make his name. So I still think we're lacking quality on the wings.
I think so, but the question is, can they get the numbers that we need? Can they provide for Solanke? Can Solanke get that 20-plus goals that we need him to get? I think that these wingers can provide it for them. In my opinion. Obviously, we've still got Sonny, who's a world-class player, albeit there are question marks about him on left wing, but he's still a world-class player. He's going to provide for us. Johnson got over 10 assists last season. If we can do that again, that's brilliant. If Odegaard can get 5 to 10 assists, that's great. And if Werner can contribute in a similar goal contribution rate to what he got last season, that'd also be good. So as much as you could say, our rivals, Saka, Martinelli, people like that, Savio, Doku, you're comparing them to those players. I don't think we have that kind of quality. But do we have players who can get the numbers? I think arguably we do.
Let's talk about Manuel Solomon, because we heard over the weekend, on game day, I think it was actually, that said that he was taking part in a medical up at Leeds. However, there's been a bit of a twist in the Manuel Solomon saga, as Shai Legassi reports that Manuel Solomon's loan move to Leeds is now uncertain. Solomon has completed his medical, but there are significant financial differences between the clubs. Talks are continuing with both parties on players' camp. Also, does not rule any other additional clubs that come in late for him in this window. So, bit of an interesting situation. I wonder what the discrepancies are in terms of the financials.
It's all about the money. Classic Spurs. Look, I was saying before, I think Leeds is a good move. Get his confidence back up, show that he's can smash it at that level and that he's like too good for that level, and it will help get his confidence back being at that level as well, in my opinion, especially for a good club like Leeds who expected to get promoted, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities on the wing. I'm assuming Tottenham want a few million or something for the loan deal. Leeds probably want to pay less. That's probably what the hold up is. Obviously, they're not a Premier League club; they're a Championship club. But they've
financial issues as well.
For financial issues, even with the parachute payments and whatever for getting relegated, they probably don't want to pay up the few million that I'm assuming Levy probably wants like 5 million for the loan deal or something.
You reckon that much?
Maybe not 5, like maybe 2-3 million, something. I don't know. He wants a few million for it. Let's be honest. He's not going to give him away for free. I don't think. But my point is, I don't think he's just loaning him out.
Pure profit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's loaning him out just to get the wages off the books. I think he wants a bit of money in return. Leeds are probably just trying to drag that down. Hopefully there'll be a compromise, but if not...
It might just be over wages. I mean, Leeds might not want to pay his whole wages.
I don't know how much he's on. Well, then again, we did sign him on a free, and that means usually a bump in wages. He's probably on like 70 grand a week, I'm assuming. And yeah, you're probably right. Leeds probably don't want to pay that all as well. They probably that's it. Probably Spurs probably want them to pay all the wages and a bit of money on top, I reckon. And Leeds probably a bit much for Leeds, and they're not worth their while. So I reckon they're trying to negotiate that down. Either they take a hit on the wages or the transfer fee, one of the two. So that's just probably what it is.
I'm sure something will happen from now to the end of the window, whether it be for Leeds or someone else. If Leeds really want him, they'll go and get him. That's the reality. But last but not least, Alan Nixon says that Amanda Staveley wants to buy a £650 million stake in Tottenham. She is stepping up a bid to buy into Spurs and is being backed by serious money from the Middle East. The group would even buy an initial stake with a view to buy even more, which is very interesting.
Do we need the minority stake now? Oasis are coming in. We've got enough money there, surely.
10 nights of Oasis at the Tottenham Hotspur.
Exactly. That's all we've needed to get to fund our next transfer, I think. Look, we've heard these rumours before. It seems though that there's no smoke without fire with them. So maybe there is some truth to it. Again, as I say, I don't know if it makes a massive difference with these guys getting minority stake. Levy's still going to apparently maintain control as chairman. He's still going to, I'm sure, run a tight ship. It'll probably mean they make a lot of money out of it, I'm sure, because with all these 30 events now at Tottenham, they want a piece of the action with what Tottenham's going on. Does this mean there'll be a massive increase in transfer activity from Tottenham? I don't know. And to be fair, with the amount we're spending, you know, I know we could probably push about a bit more with some other players. We obviously signed Solanke for big money. We signed Gray for 40 million.
Spent a hell of a lot.
We have spent a lot of money. We have. So, like, I don't know if it, like, in terms of like big investment in like, do Tottenham need a massive influx of money to like really hit our goals? I would say if we could get another, you know, another one or two 50 to 60 million pound signings per window, that could really push us forward. Is that achievable under the current ownership? I would argue at least one more, I reckon, probably.
But would it allow us to maybe go and push the boat out and even get like £100 million player through the door? Just like one £100 million player in the midfield?
I don't know. I don't know if we would. I don't know if we would, to be honest.
Like, if the money is there, would they do it?
Who are we signing for 100 million in midfield?
Well, I can't tell you who exactly, but I'm sure there's a player out there that's a 6 or a hybrid of a 6 to an 8. That's a proper monster in there that you can push the boat out.
Spurs look at people like Bergvall and Gray and think, why would we spend 100 million when we get these guys and they could potentially turn into 100 million pound players? That's probably how they see it.
Yeah, but when are we going to start thinking about the here and now and not just the future?
The current project is all about geared to the future. That's you know.
But surely the future turns into now at some point.
Right, but what then? You're signing 100 million pound player is going to block Bergvall's pathway. Like you've got
if you go and buy Solanke for 65 million, like surely if you get a bit of an investment, you can push the boat out, spend an extra 35 million on a 100 million pound player.
I think it's unlikely, even with this investment, to be honest.
The here we cold. Anyway, I think it could be likely, but I don't even believe the takeover rumors anyway, or the minority stake rumors anyway. Like, how many times have we sat here and talked about minority stake investment in Spurs ever since we've started the channel? Really, like, we've spoken about it at least once a year since, and nothing's ever happened.
We'll see. As I say, I think I can't see it making a massive. It might make a small difference, maybe mean it pushed about a little bit more. I don't see Tottenham all of a sudden buying players for 100 million after this investment, in my opinion.
Well, there you have it. That is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've brought to you today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, Spurs.